just got nervous for the first time
Nah.
in the show.
Fine.
Oh. Are we live?
We are.
Just remember, I was the only one not drinking during that conversation.
Which is exactly why we need direction.
But I'm outnumbered too, so that's bad.
Madison just got it done in record time yesterday. We sat down and she's like, he needs this.
You told me you needed to catch up, so I gave you the recipe for catching up.
Nurse, bring him a Long Island.
We're on a mission.
With a vodka chaser.
It was kind of like that. It was lemon drop drips and
lemon drips.
You sound like from an IV or something.
It does.
Not quite right. Good morning, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Peter Becker, first guy. You're supposed to write first, like on YouTube when you get the first comment, right? Good morning, Valerie.
My whole future's relying on Peter Becker because I need shit to occupy my time now.
Oh my gosh.
And Peter and his parents are on deck next for real estate. So,
all right.
We got a good and a morning from Pamela.
Hello,
good morning. How dramatic.
Hello, Phyllis.
So can I start with some key findings from a Mental Health America report, just to kind of set the context, huh?
You can do whatever you want, Marty.
Who's the producer this morning? Who do I talk to?
Do we have a producer? We should have a producer.
I worked in Los Angeles. It was an evening show, and I had two producers.
Two?
I had two producers. One of them in the studio with me, and one of them overseeing the phones.
I never had a producer, but I started in mornings as a producer.
Maybe I don't.
LA, the radio station, the phone lines, I had 15 lines that literally rang nonstop. Like
That's
we did
crazy.
music research through them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right, stand by. Here we go. 102.9 W4 Country and Barefoot Blue Jean Night. It's Mr. Jake Owen. Good morning. 7:44. We are live on W4 TV as well. Facebook.com/W4 Country or YouTube.com/W4 Country. Now, last week we had 200 viewers at once, and we have 42 right now. What are you doing?
We had a lot of stuff going on last week. Yeah.
I don't remember what was going on last week.
We were in Vegas last week.
No, that was the week before.
That was our first show.
Yeah. Okay.
After Vegas, I guess.
Last week we weren't here. Yeah, we were not in the studio.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not remembering anything correctly because my whole life is...
No, last week we were coming back from Vegas last week, right?
Yes.
So we didn't have a show.
If a life could be a snow globe
confusing
right
me now.
somebody picked up my snow globe and just shook it this weekend.
That's true.
That's pretty. Those are pretty.
It's pretty, Marty.
Depends on how you look
I
at
don't know
it.
that snow globes are meant to be shaken.
Yeah, and they're fascinating. That's right. They're meant to be shaken, Ryan.
There you go.
Marty is my therapist. He's Madison's therapist and Welch's therapist. And I don't know how much you two have been contacting Marty about me, but I have been on a nonstop tear with Marty this
Marty
weekend.
has gone over and above, I think.
Marty has gone over and above. I should just give you the old Visa card and just build the time.
Run it.
Build the time when you're off. I've been bothering him so much. But we're talking about mental health today because we want everybody to be happy and everybody to have a good life. What do you got for us, Marty?
Well, I have some alarming statistics first, and people aren't going to remember numbers, so this is the broad strokes here. Mental health is worsening. It was bad pre-COVID. We're just learning how much worse it's got. Suicidal ideation is up. It's affecting our youth. Younger and younger it's skewing, and so we have a big problem, and people aren't being treated. Those are the big takeaways for me. Very alarming to me, and so that's why I like doing this show, because we want people to take care of themselves.
And that's why we do this segment on Mondays, because we want everyone to take care of themselves. We want to kind of remove the stigma. We've
absolutely
all got issues. Do you want to start with yours, Madison?
I have wild anxiety problems.
Like you have terrible anxiety.
Yeah, I get really and social anxiety, which is interesting because people don't think that
you're on the radio. We're in front of hundreds of thousands of people right now.
We're not. I'm talking to my two best friends right now.
Okay.
And Marty, my three best friends. So it's not. This is, to me, when we're in this room, it's no big deal. When I'm out in public, when I have to do other things with other people,
which is part of this job. Like,
right,
we're
it
in
is
public a lot,
significantly. I get really nervous, and I have to go through like different things. Marty and I have talked about how to calm myself down and prepare myself, and then sometimes I feel like I just black out because I don't really even remember what's happened when I'm done, but I know I can do it, and I know that I can do it because I've done it so many times. So I usually just tell my anxiety to shut up if I can.
So Madison, what is anxiety? Everyone's felt it, but people don't know what it is. It helps a little bit to know what's happening. I mean, how would you describe if someone like a space alien, who's never felt anxiety? You'd say anxiety is the experience of.
I can't breathe. I'm shaking a lot. It's usually for me, it's in groups of more than like smaller groups are okay, but it's larger groups I really can't handle. So if I know that I'm preparing for that, I get really hot. I get crazy hot flashes. I have this weird involuntary like gag reflex that just pops up. It's
I'm
awful.
not laughing at you. I'm sorry.
It is kind of funny to watch though.
I've witnessed it. It's
So
wild.
have you ever, like, part of this job, have you ever introduced a concert?
Yeah.
What happens then?
That all of this. And then I walk on stage and it's usually okay.
And you're okay on stage?
If I can make a joke about it, like if I can just come right out and say it, and I'll do that a lot. Like when we host, events or something, if I can come right out, if there's a big group and I can say I'm super nervous, but here we go. Or, I'm hot, my feet are hot, whatever. My feet get really sweaty. It's super weird. Then if I can say that and admit it right away, it kind of, that helps. Like,
so do you
break
go
it down
on and
a little
say,
bit.
hey, I'm Madison, excuse me while I gag, my feet are sweaty. Here's
Sometimes.
Thankfully,
Thankfully, those are usually so fast. Like those things, they're so fast that it's not, I don't really get time to like live in that moment. I think about it leading up to it and I think about it afterwards. But during that, it's just like, it's not even, I don't know, it works.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll move on and how to get help with anxiety. We'll do that for you next. Let's find out what's going on in traffic, though. Madison's got a check on that right now.
We have an issue on US 12 right at Ann Arbor Street. There is a truck, I think, on the side of the road there, and it's causing some slowdowns on the westbound side at the very least. Also a little heavier on US 12 right around 23. Looks like 94 should be running pretty smoothly. A little heavier on 127 right at 94 through that construction, though. And on the westbound side, maybe a little bit of heavier traffic through the construction around Jackson Road in the Chelsea area. M52 right around Pleasant Lake Road, both directions, slower moving through there. 96 looking all right, though, so is M14. If you have a tip for us, 734-623-1029. Traffic is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage, and that's the latest from the W4 Country Traffic Center.
I've got a brand new roof on my house from Diversified Roofing. I'm sorry, that wasn't anxiety. That was just bad DJ ship here. It's absolutely wonderful. 50-year warranty on my roof. Stan the man got up there and took photos of what was going on my roof, came down. We looked at them together, made an educated decision together that it was time for my builder's basic roof that was falling apart and actually full of bats to go. So thank you for the sound effect in there, Marty. I appreciate that.
We had them. It was awful, man.
Yeah. They got in there and I tell you what, Diversified showed up in one day. My roof was repaired and I have a 50-year warranty on it now. Put them to work for you. Go to diversifiedroofingllc.com. That's diversifiedroofingllc.com. If you are listening to me on the radio, they service your area and you're going to be so thrilled with the service you get. Diversifiedroofingllc.com. All right. We're off.
Yeah, so Valerie has a comment for you.
What is that?
Oh, she said, thank you for sharing, Madison. It's nice to know others deal with this as well.
So,
and it doesn't always happen like that. And sometimes even much worse. I've had like a couple of full-on panic attacks where I've had to pull over on the side of the road before.
yeah.
That wasn't fun. But I've learned how to deal with it too.
So social anxiety is the most common anxiety. Well, first of all, anxiety disorders are the number one thing that we deal with, really. It's a fear of being embarrassed or judged, right? And people have this public speaking they're afraid of. So what happens to people like celebrities? Because I have a friend who treats them in Los Angeles, like A-list and, down. They kind of run towards it. Like Madison, you're running towards it, right? You're like, it's an exposure therapy that you just kind of do intuitively. Yeah. Well, you don't have to. You could run away from a fear, but what would happen to the fear if you ran away from it?
Well, I would never live my life.
It would grow.
Yeah.
It chases you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it chases you, right, Welch?
It's like that the old Seinfeld bit where he's like, the number one fear is public speaking. Number two is death.
Mm-hmm.
So the average person, if they were at a funeral, they'd rather be in the box than giving the eulogy.
Yes. And that's true. I looked that up because I thought, really, is that true? It actually is true. My friend Peter Desberg in Los Angeles. He writes books on this stuff. He also does lots of comedy books. Brian Welch, if you want to look at those, his name's Peter Desberg.
What sort of comedy books?
He kind of breaks it down, but he also writes funny books, like joke books. Like he loves jokes. He's this, Jewish guy, almost like, some of the jokes.
Important, Marty.
Well, there's a comedy legacy though behind that.
Right.
So you know what I mean. There's a history behind that. So, but he's kind of attached to that, is what he reminds me of. But really funny guy, really smart guy too. Professor at University of California, I think.
What's his name again? Peter
Desberg. Desberg. He's a musician too. Just an interesting fellow. I haven't talked to him in a while. But anyway, as far as the anxiety, that's what it is, and you'll know that because it's a fear response, right? And we like to feel safe. It's a feeling of I'm not safe. And think about it. You're up against a mob potentially when you're on stage, Madison, right?
Well, that's not helpful.
Potentially. Well, that's what's
the audience is going to rise against Madison.
No, I just mean that's what the experience of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes I sweat. I've done a lot of public speaking, but I'll notice, wow, my body knows that I'm nervous and I think I'm not. So what you said about naming it, that really helps because that engages the frontal lobe to get some control over it, some visibility. So naming it actually is a very smart thing to do.
Well, good.
It's really interesting because I don't have that. Like I can go in front of a concert crowd and literally my pulse won't go up one beat.
Do you care what people think about you?
Oh yeah, I do.
But not in that situation?
Not in that situation. It's always been like very easy for me because it's weird because you could feel the crowd. You just can't see the crowd.
Well, that's why you're successful too. I mean, because you're very natural.
Am I successful? Is this success? I don't feel like I'm having success.
Compared to, most people who have no audience.
Yeah, I've felt that before where it just feels like there's no way I'm going to be able to breathe.
Yeah, so that may be a panic attack, and I've never had a full blown panic attack, but they are terrifying. I treat them. They're very treatable, by the way, too. Cognitive behavioral therapy works very well on stopping those.
It's been a very long time since I had a full panic attack, and that was when our insurance changed.
What?
Yeah. It's not just social anxiety. Like other little things could set it off too. Sometimes nothing sets it off. Sometimes I don't even know, not a full panic attack usually, but sometimes I don't know why I'm having anxiety. There's just a lot going on in my brain and I can't get it to, shut down. But the last time I had a full panic attack, it was set off because our insurance changed. And my doctors, my medical doctor said that I couldn't see them anymore because of the insurance change. And I know. I had a fit in the car.
Yeah, that's tough because then you work hard developing that relationship with your physician.
So like 10.8% of people are uninsured for the first time since the Affordable Care Act. It's gone up. That's very scary to me. It's heartbreaking if someone comes in and they have an insurance that I don't take. I wasn't able to be paneled on, All
right, stand by. I'm just going to do a quick little blow by here. 102.9 W4 Country and Homesick. It's Kane Brown. Good morning, 7:55 in the Breakfast with Bubba show in the morning. Dr. Marty's here. Join us for the conversation on air and off air at W4 TV, Facebook.com/W4 Country. Same on YouTube. All right. Who is texting me like crazy? Oh, Travis.
Phyllis said she used to get super nervous before a band concert would start. Over the years, she came to realize there are a lot more important things in the world. Stephanie said, "You're very successful, Bubba. In many areas of your life, you seem like a good friend and have a big, generous heart. Hang in there."
And yet that isn't enough.
A big, generous heart hanging there?
Hang in there.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh my, where are we? 7:56, 7:57, 7:58, 7:59. We'll keep this segment kind of brief and we're going to go right out of the commercials into the top of the hour. What are we doing with this O&W? Do we do something?
Oh, that one.
I thought it was supposed to be in the...
Just let it run how it is.
Yeah.
Just let that run.
We'll
Okay.
figure it out later.
Because there's a commercial in there for O&W.
Mm-hmm.
It's caused quite a bit of consternation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my weekend really sucked. I got dumped. And McKenna's not doing well.
You got a lot coming at you.
I've got a lot coming at me right now. What are you taking a picture of?
The log, so we can fix it. The problem is that nobody on the other side knows what it looks like in here.
All right, 1 minute back.
Good morning, Lisa.
I'm sure people saw me driving around Dexter this weekend crying. I looked like a crazy man, I'm sure.
It's hard to find a therapist that can connect and have your child feel comfortable with.
We'll wait on that, but I'd like to say something about that when we come back.
Yeah.
My mom tried to take me to a child psychologist when I was pretty young. We moved across the state. So like I was 5 or 6. And so I lost my two friends, guys who lived like right on my street. And it was a tough transition for me, but my mom took me to this child psychologist and I wouldn't say anything. I just sat there. She said, so we just stopped going. And in retrospect, I kind of want to be like, well, Mom, maybe we should have kept going.
Or tried someone else. Yeah. It's hard enough to find someone for yourself. I think finding for a kid would be a challenge.
102.9 W4 Country, Jason Aldean, blame it on you. 7:58 in the Breakfast with Bubba show. The Monday morning jumpstart. All right, Marty, we're sharing our vices here. How do you deal with anxiety?
How do you deal with anxiety? Get some treatment. If you can't get treatment, there's a lot of self-help stuff that's out there. Learn what it is. Learn how your body works, for one thing, because this is a real physical thing like Madison was describing. You know, it's a feeling that you're very unsafe, and it's a high level of arousal, and it's a threat sensitivity. The good news is that it's probably not a real threat. It feels like a real threat, or if it is a threat, it's a minor threat.
Oh, it sure does feel real.
It sure does.
Gag reflex is going.
That's weird that you get nervous and gag. That's like weird.
And it terrifies people around me because they think I'm gonna throw up. I've never thrown up from it. I've seen
you do it in here, and it does. It just freaks me out. Like I'm thinking, oh my God, she's gonna vomit and it's gonna smell.
No.
Do you? Oh, that's your fear.
No.
That's what I'm worried about. It's like, get out of the studio.
Go outside.
Yeah,
go outside.
Another trash can.
Yeah. Do you calm your body down with breathing? You know, slower breathing.
Because that's the only way to stop that.
Yeah. We actually overbreathe with anxiety, so sometimes just like slowing it down and rhythmically and into your stomach.
All right, join us on W4 TV right now, Facebook.com/W4 Country, YouTube.com/W4 Country. More with Dr. Marty coming up. You can talk to us off air as well. Let's find out what's going on in traffic. Madison's got that.
A little heavier on 127 southbound, right at 94 through that construction there. Also 94 through the construction in the eastbound side through Chelsea around Jackson Road. Heavier on M52 north and southbound around Pleasant Lake Road. It's going to be a little slower moving through there. Also downtown Saline, we've got an issue right at Ann Arbor Street, and it looks like it's slow moving in both directions on Michigan Avenue right through the middle of downtown. US 12 a little heavier right around 23 as well. 23 running smoothly though. Doesn't look like we've got any problems to report there. We might have an accident on M14 right around Ford Road. We're going to keep an eye on that one. If you have a tip for us, 734-623-1029. Traffic is sponsored by Taco Bell, and that's the latest from the W4 Country Traffic Center.
If you think you've waited too long to lose weight for summer, you have not. Get to Ideal You, and you could lose up to 40 pounds in 40 days. And I tell you what, the first 10 days, great. 14 pounds for me, 12 pounds for you, Madison?
Yep, that's huge motivation to keep going.
Get on it and get going.
Up to 40 pounds in 40 days. And right now, you can take advantage of their Slim Summer Sale. They're going to give you $200 in free groceries when you sign up for the program, which is one of the best parts about it. It's real food. It's not bars or shakes or shots or anything like that. It's real food that you get at the grocery store. So take advantage of their Slim Summer Sale. $200 in free groceries when you sign up for the program. You also get that free body composition analysis. You can find out all the details and meet your weight loss coach when you book your free consultation. Do that right now at idealu.us.
Yeah, that can happen fun on an evening, on a Saturday as well. Just go to idealu.us. And it's beautiful because you use just real food, whole food that you buy in the grocery store for this. So it's easy to stay on. No shakes, no shots, nothing like that. Get over to idealu.us today. Results may vary based on physical health and adherence to program. No weight loss or health guarantees are provided or implied. All right, we're back. Don't let me forget the top of the hour.
Did you take us off here?
Yeah, we're off here.
I didn't see you do it. You were sneaky.
Fast fingers.
So the people who are screening for high risk of mental health conditions, what do you think they struggle the most with? Like, what do they have in common? Oops, sorry about that.
What people are coming in for, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, what do they have in common? So if you have, excuse me?
I would say depression and anxiety.
Okay, yeah. So what's behind that? That's the question. And got any guesses?
Loneliness.
Yes, it's loneliness and isolation, and
Especially,
I have depression and anxiety to look forward to too.
well, they're very much related, right? The comorbidity rate's really high, or they flip back and forth. So the anxiety, you can't walk around like that hot, and for that long without going into a depression. Eventually, your body just says, "We got to sit down." We got to sit you down. Yeah, it's loneliness and isolation. That's why, some media I get on. There's some great media like this, but then the other ones, I'm like, they're putting us at odds with each other, and we distrust each other, afraid to talk, and being judged, and we're becoming tribal and things like that. So that's contributing. We know that because there's research to show that too. We got to be a little nicer, more tolerant, and
Are we in Taco Bell right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, stand by. 4 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good morning. I want to thank you for making us your choice today. You found the Breakfast with Bubba show with Bubba at Madison Raleigh.
Good morning. We do have a chance of showers or thunderstorms today and highs in the mid 80s.
You're listening to WWWFM Ann Arbor. So very proud to be a Cumulus station. We're the morning show that makes you feel good. A Cumulus station.
That's us. I'm getting some coffee.
Yeah, it's weird, Marty. I'll be fine, and then I'll just start wailing.
yeah, you know what those are called? Grief bursts.
I'm having a lot of grief bursts.
Yeah, and the best thing to do is what when you're having one? What's the best thing to do?
Great.
Just cry and then go through it, right?
Yeah, let it happen. If you resist it, it'll just make it worse. It'll intensify. So, crying's there to soothe us, right? It's so we can self-soothe if we let it happen. So stress crying is really different than that feeling that you get like if you like to watch sad movies or something, the sad movies or sad songs and you feel melancholic, whatever. That's when you're not fighting it and people get some relief, and a lot of people like those experiences. But when you fight against it and struggle against it, because the whole game with grief is acceptance. Reality's given, right? How long am I going to take before I accept reality and work with it? That's the question in grief. And it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's not a switch you can flip. It's a process.
I'm still at the point where I don't want to accept reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the longer that you fight, and that's where like groups and things like that and psychotherapy can really, really help, because we need exposure to that. We need exposure to reality, in your imagination and in your speech, so you can survive it and realize there's something left over in life. It didn't all, and look, I have a dog that's old too, and then I've had a lot of stuff that you guys know, that the listeners may know about that's been going on. The more I struggle against that, the more I suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like I have this adventurous life, but I really have a pretty simple life. I built my life around a job, a dog, and a person. And now the person is gone, the dog is leaving, and here I am with a job in this radio. Lord only knows if it stays or not.
Well, we mentioned loneliness and isolation too. That's not a big enough life for most people. Those are all great things, but is that enough for a life? We need more. One thing that helps is making ourselves useful to people. You want to be connected to someone that, add some value to them, to their lives, make them feel good. I mean, small things like be nice to the person who's giving you your latte, ask them a question, smile.
We should do that anyway.
Yeah, I know.
More.
Makes us feel good.
We should, yes.
I'm actually very nice to customer service. I really am. You have to admit.
Oh, silence.
I'm over the top night.
Until you're not.
No, whenever
Until you have a problem.
No, the way, especially and I put this in the frame of flying. Like I watch people get so upset with ticket agents and stuff, and let me tell you, you be nice to them, they will do whatever you want. Like I've had people in front of me not on a canceled flight been told there's nothing for for 2 days and I can't do anything for you, and you walk up to the person and I say, I don't know, you do your job. I couldn't put up with that, and I have a first class ticket on a flight in and out. It's all how you treat people.
Yeah, it's pretty valuable, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
I
kind
think
of thing.
treat people on the show awfully. I think I used to treat people that worked on this show awfully, terribly.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
I'm processing this.
I did.
He just had a big moment here.
No, I did.
To admit something like that.
No, there's a lot of pressure with ratings and stuff, and it get to me.
Hey, we've all done some of that stuff, haven't we? I don't, from kindergarten on,
I think we're all a lot healthier, and we've all come a long way in the last several years.
There are a lot of people that have run from this building pointing at me, and they
Yeah.
were 100% right in doing so. There were a couple that needed to go. Well,
I was thinking like there are a couple who it's like, I don't know if I don't think I would have handled it any better.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've got people who clearly aren't interested in meeting you halfway. And if you try to be nice to them, they just expect more of it.
Any body walkers?
what's a body walker?
Climb the ladder by stepping on people.
No, I never did that.
Okay, oh, good. That's
I've seen
tough.
people who've done that.
In this business, there are a lot of people that do that, but I've never done that. I've just worked my ass off, and most people in radio are lazy. So you work
It's
hard.
kind of easy.
It's kind of easy. It's kind of easy to stand out.
It's not
by
difficult.
working.
It really isn't.
But no, I've never stepped on anyone. I mean, I've been in awkward situations. Like I was brought in to my last radio station in evenings, knowing that the morning guy was going to get fired and I was going to get his job. But that wasn't body walking. I mean, they were going to fire him regardless, whether I took that job or not.
Right.
And then what was weird when I came in here is usually like if they get rid of a morning show, put a new morning show, they get rid of the morning show. They took the morning show here and put the female co-host on middays and the male co-host on afternoon drive. So I was the pariah that came in and ruined everyone's job. But again, they were going to move them anyway. So it was just
That's how I ended up getting my first morning show.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get along at all. You know who this is.
I know who that is, yeah.
And so they moved him to after. I was doing middays, which I did not want to do. I hated it anyway. And so they separated the morning show, put her on middays and him on afternoons. And the afternoon guy and I started mornings. But I'd already been there. I was at that point, I was the longest one standing.
Yeah.
Well, besides.
But I was the
other
pariah
guy. here.
here. Like my first year here was rough. Good Lord, it was rough. And then they brought in some programming people that just started cleaning house.
Mm-hmm.
And they got rid of the toxic attitudes. And I worked my butt off. And here I am, 19 years later,
we are.
waiting to get fired. All right. Oh, 15 seconds.
Yeah, we got to go.
102.9 W4 Country and how I'll always be. It's Tim McGraw. Good morning. It's 8:11 in the Breakfast with Bubba show with Bubba and Madison Rally.
Good morning.
We have Brian Welch with the forecast.
Highs in the upper 80s and possible storms this afternoon.
I am looking forward to that. Don't forget Sunday, we're going to be out at Willow Run Airport from 9 to 11.
Yeah, join us there. It is the Wings and Wheels Invitational. It's all presented by the Yankee Air Museum, and it'll be a ton of classic vehicles. That's automobiles and aircraft that you can get up close and personal.
You can even get rides from the Yankee Air Museum
You
and
can.
their classic
Yeah,
planes.
get all the info, and you can go to our website, w4country.com, to get all the info, and there's links there to go to their website and book stuff.
Get everything bought, and it's cheaper if you get your tickets ahead of time.
I think so.
Like it's $5 more
Yeah.
at the gate than it is if you get them now. So get them and support the Yankee Air Museum. I tell you what, if you've never been out there, you are missing a jewel in the crown that is Southeast Michigan. We are live on Facebook.com/W4Country and YouTube.com/W4Country. It's W4 TV. We've got Dr. Martin Fletcher here for your Monday morning Jumpstart, and we've already gone through Madison's problem, which is anxiety. Welch, what is your issue?
Oh, depression.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
Does
bad?
that surprise you?
What do you mean, really?
Well, I just, you have a lot to be happy about.
Well, you'd think,
That's
wouldn't
not
you?
what.
Yeah.
That's not depression.
Mm,
And that's one of the things you probably is not helpful to say to someone with depression.
Mhm.
Because you got a beautiful wife, you got a great job, and I
Aw.
suffer from it too. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I suffer from it, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. Marty, is depression common?
Oh yes, it is. And so you want to think about a stress recovery model for depression. So depression is when we know that inflammation is actually a biomarker for it, right? We think about depression as a pain condition. So what happens is your physiology is just getting hammered for lots of different reasons, right? And even your thoughts can rev up your worry, for instance, revs up your central nervous system and all that stuff. And then eventually sometimes it's trauma that stresses us out, but it's compounded stress over time that we can't recover from. And then eventually our body says, we're going to sit you down and you look sick. You look like you have mono sick with depression. It's a real thing. It's not a character flaw. It means, and especially if somebody pushes themselves really hard and just really doesn't accept the fact that they have a physiology, then you can end up in a major depressive disorder.
And depression is something though that's cured with medication, though, isn't it? Doesn't it help a lot?
Medication is definitely a part of good treatment. I think it's last I saw is about maybe 20% will respond just from medication. I have seen that happen before, but in conjunction with psychotherapy, that can help establish some life changes, because you do have to get away from the stress, internal and external, that caused the depression or contributed to it. So the medication won't do that, but it definitely can set the conditions for it. I've seen that happen before. So yeah, it can absolutely be a important part. I know some people are against it, but it's a personal choice.
We do this because we want you to be healthy too and have a great start to a week. And today we're just showing you that you're not alone with some of the stuff we've gone through, what Madison suffers from, what Welch suffers from. Me, I'm bat doo-doo crazy. I've got
You're not allowed to say that.
but I am. I mean, I've got the most serious of any of you. We'll discuss that next. Join us at W4
Can't
TV.
wait.
Not a competition.
Right. Come on.
I win, damn it. I'm gonna win this one. Let's find out what's going on in traffic. Madison Rally's got to check on that.
Well, we're still watching the incident on Michigan Avenue through downtown Saline. It's right around Ann Arbor Street, and it's slow moving, especially on the westbound side, but I think you're going to see some slower traffic on the eastbound side as well. M52, slower moving in both north and southbound, right around Pleasant Lake Road. Very slow moving through there. US 12 right around 23. You're going to see some heavier traffic there as well. 23 looks good, though. Don't have problems to report on M14. A little heavier through the construction on 94 eastbound through the Chelsea area, and 127 right at 94 through that construction there as well. If you have a tip for us, 734-623-1029. That's the latest from the W4 Country Traffic Center.
If you need to lose weight and you think you've waited too long to get it done for summer, let's face it, this last weekend was a great lake day, a great beach day, a great floating down the river day. If you're not comfortable with the way you look, you could lose up to 40 pounds in 4 days with Ideal You.
Absolutely. it comes off so fast. You're not going to believe how great you'll look. Even in just the first 10 days, I lost 12 pounds. You lost 14 pounds, right? Up to 40 pounds in 40 days. Take advantage of their Slim Summer sale going on right now. They're going to give you $200 in free groceries when you sign up for the program. That's on top of that free body composition analysis that tells you all kinds of stuff you didn't know about your body, including probably reasons why you're struggling to lose weight. You can get all the details when you book your free consultation. Do that right now at idealu.us.
That can happen on an evening, on a Saturday as well at their Ann Arbor Center. Is it on an evening or in an evening?
It can happen
Welch,
evenings.
you're the group.
It can happen. It can happen on an evening, I think.
Evenings.
Evenings. It could happen evenings. Just go to IdealU
Evening.
in the evening. IdealU.us. That's IdealU.us. Results may vary based on physical health and adherence to program. No weight loss or health guarantees are provided or implied. All righty.
Sarah said, everyone has their issues. You're not crazy.
No, I'm crazy.
No, you're not.
No, and if everybody has issues, what's crazy anyway?
Life is tough. It's a mixed bag. You know, sometimes it's tough. Let's put it that way at times. That's why my goal is to make people strong, right? I mean, that's the only way to get through life. And by strong, I don't mean, I just mean resilient too. You know what I mean? That when you get knocked down, that's why I like Welsh, do you like the Rocky movies? Like, people think Sylvester Stallone's stupid. He's not. Like, he's very perceptive about human nature and writes good dialogue, I think. You like Rocky movies?
Because he wrote Rocky, right?
He wrote, he wrote all of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen the first one. I think I've seen the first one and the fourth one. I haven't seen all of them.
I've seen the first one and the Mr. T one. Which one was that?
That was 3. Yeah, that was 3 because he got cocky and stuff. Look, that 5 you can skip. They don't even get into the ring in 5, so that wasn't a good movie. But it's the story of life, right? Those are archetypal. That story is, and that's why people responded to it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all about that, and how flawed we all are, and how to forgive. And there's so much in those movies, and also the life is a fight. It's a struggle sometimes.
So, Marty, if you get knocked down,
You get up again?
and then you get up again.
Stay down, stay down. He gets up and says, "Cut me, Mick," and then they cut him, and he keeps going no matter what. Because I really the only way to lose is to quit. That's the only way to lose. Eventually, you'll find the help and figure it out, but don't quit.
There's that song. I get knocked down.
That's what we were
I get up again.
saying. You just got on.
I don't know that song, but
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh,
Pissing
yes,
the
you do.
night away. Pissing the night away.
I know "Twisting the Night Away," but
Vodka drink. I drink a
I take the other drink. I think the song.
Remind him of the best
times.
Oh, Danny boy.
Is it Danny Boy?
Yeah. Wasn't it?
I
I thought she went into Danny Boy in the middle of it.
I don't know.
All right. Let's see. 2 minutes out.
What a weird song.
Yep. It sure is.
who is it?
Chumbawamba.
Oh, I don't know that though.
The song is
Yeah.
Tub Thumping.
You'd recognize it. Like, you may
Okay.
not know the title or the band, but you
Or my interpretation of it.
Tub Thumping.
That was probably hot when you were working Top 40 Radio
Oh, yeah.
with the kid. What's his real name? Dave.
Dave Kent.
Dave Kent. Pissing the night away.
1997 release date, September 1st.
Oh, I just moved to Michigan.
97?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got married that year.
I wasn't quite working in radio yet, but I was I worked at the music store at the mall.
Mhm.
So you
Sold
were
a lot
in
of
the
these.
industry.
I was. That was my first real job. Yeah.
Oh,
Give Pat my Barty
Put it
some love
down.
back. Okay, Madison, and Welch and Bubba, give Pat my Barty some love.
who's that?
There's a comment there.
She says, "You guys are great. Love you all."
Or he could be Patrick, Padre.
No, that
I think we know who
Patricia.
this is. Yeah.
And thank you,
Thank you,
Pat. We appreciate it.
That's Lisa singing along.
It's in the night away. I want to go to Ireland now. Why don't we
Let's go to
Why don't we
Ireland.
go there for your
That would be fun
Bubba Moon?
for my Bubba Moon.
We'll do Ireland and Amsterdam.
I'll go back to Ireland. I'd love that.
You want to go on the honeymoon with us?
I'll ask my wife.
He's inviting people.
Right.
Kathy, can I go on a honeymoon?
Nope. Stand by. Here we go. Russell Dickerson, Love You Like I Used To on 102.9 W4 Country, 822, and the Monday Morning Jumpstart. Going a little long this
Yeah,
morning.
I think
but
that's okay. This is a good conversation.
That's fine. We want everyone to relate that and get the help you need because we want you happy. Everyone needs to be happy. We're the morning show that makes you feel good. And you know what? We're just as screwed up as you, if not more.
Mhm.
Totally.
It's okay to not be okay, or it's okay to have issues.
It is. And that's why I have
Right?
Dr. Marty here every single Monday morning from Renew Hope Counseling, the Shepherd and the Shrink podcast, drmartinfletcher.com. If you want to reach out, it's 823. And we found out that Madison suffers from anxiety
Mhm.
and Welch suffers from depression.
Correct.
And I suffer from a combination of both of them. And it has a name that sounds very scary. And I've only admitted on social media this weekend for the first time,
Until now, it's really been a select group of people who
there are
have
like
known about
5
this.
people that have known about this, that I have a thing called borderline personality disorder. See, I told you I was crazier than you.
Not a competition.
Right.
I win.
Can we get an explanation of what that means exactly?
for-
Maybe Marty can help.
For me, it's just a huge fear of abandonment and loss.
Mhm.
That's how it manifests with me. A huge fear of abandonment and loss. And I got dumped Friday. And my dog is sick, so it's like my whole world is just like I'm just hurtling through space right now with this. Marty, this is more common than a lot of people think.
Yeah, and our understanding has really improved a lot in the last, let's say, 15 years, especially. Right, it's usually related to trauma, childhood trauma. It's one of the most painful disorders that you can have. I mean, if you can imagine that, just to feel like you're going to be we fear being alone and having no meaning in our lives. It's really a painful condition.
Here I am.
Treatable. So we used to think that it wasn't treatable, and some people have some prejudice against it if they haven't been trained in it. You should definitely see somebody who's trained in it if you think that you might have that or you've been diagnosed before. But absolutely, there's some treatments for that are effective.
It sounds scary. It's manageable. There are days when it's more manageable than other days, and I'll tell you, this weekend was just
It was a big one.
If you saw me driving through Dexter crying, yep, I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what though? I want you to compare yourself to your old self.
Oh, no different.
Oh.
No, I'm way different. No
Wildly
comparison.
different.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's important for you to get therapy, but it was important for us to have an understanding of it as
Right.
well. Because there was no way we were going to be able to deal with you.
Right.
I mean that in a loving way. There was it's a lot to understand each other. It's so different.
So-
It makes a huge difference.
What are some? We're gonna. I tell you what. We're gonna take play another song here, Marty. Then we're gonna come back, and I want you to give us just a couple of resources that are available to people that just aren't feeling good, and then we'll move on, and we'll get back next week to a top 5 list.
Excellent.
But this week we're playing. Which one of us is crazier?
You're playing that.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
playing.
I'm not playing that.
It's 102.9 W4 Country with Keith Urban. Sweet thing.
It's your fear of losing talking there.
And I don't think that's part of borderline. I don't think the fear of losing.
It certainly is in your case.
But like fear of competition, losing competition is not. Fear of losing people is, but not.
Well, so it's tied to something else, but it's still
right.
status sometimes too, because
Sure.
there's nothing like the adoration of being getting a status bump. I'm not into it, but what I used to be.
The thing that struck me most, I think, when in the after your post on Friday, because you posted that on Friday, I think, right, Bob? Yeah. So after that, a lot of people reached out, and it wasn't a lot of people. I'm supportive, which was amazing, I thought, but a lot of people reached out to me even and said, you know, I'm sure they reached out to you too. They were asking if they could, and I was like, well, I think that's okay, but they were saying that they either struggled with that, or they knew someone did it, or they suspected it and they didn't know, they didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know where to go from there. I just recommend therapy every time.
Yeah. There should be a better name. So what happens is this, like early on, a name is given to a phenomenon or a condition, right? Or a syndrome. And then the literature has to follow it. So we keep the name even though it isn't appropriate. Like codependent, for instance, that's behavior, but it doesn't really say a whole lot, but it's developed, but you still have to attach to the literature. You have to, so when you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There was someone came out and said that they had something, and it was, they just changed the name of,
well, who are some of the famous people that
disorder
have
or something?
It's not multiple personality.
No, but they just changed the name of that. That's what they used to call it.
But famous borderliners, Britney Spears.
Yeah.
That's an extreme version of it. I'm not that extreme.
Give us some more. I haven't looked into that. Who are some famous ones?
Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson. Let me get you. There's a lot of people.
So this is just from Google. I don't know how true this is.
Vincent Van Gogh was
Daryl Hammond.
You cut off part of your ear to send it.
Yeah, that's got to be
Daryl Hammond.
Yeah.
Oh, real talented guy.
Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, Princess Diana, Angelina Jolie.
Wow, that's a heck of an impressive list. So the borderline came from early on, thought it was borderline schizophrenia, and that's nothing even close to that. But we didn't understand it early on.
Yeah, so now you're stuck with that name, and you say, "Well, it's borderline," and like, well, what's the border?
Yes.
Well, we thought it was schizophrenia, but now it's not. It's not anything. There's nothing on the border.
Yeah. What scary line am I about to cross here? Mm-hmm.
All right, 30 seconds back. Send the night away.
Now you got an earworm.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, stand by. 102.9 W4 Country and Sweet Thing. It's Keith Urban, 829. All right, Marty, what are some resources for people that feel that they need help?
Okay, we do know that spirituality is an important part. Now, I have no revenue model for this stuff. It's all on Patreon. Just people are kind enough to give me money to do this. But there's the Shepherd and the Shrink podcast that you can listen to when you walk around. That's my contribution to try to help people out. Don't make any money off of it. I spend a lot of money on it. If you want to listen to that, you can get that anywhere you get podcasts.
It's kind of like my latest business venture. I didn't make any money on it, but I spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, but I'm happy. I'm not complaining because I'm getting a lot of feedback for that. But that's if you have this sort of spiritual, especially Christian worldview, but you don't have to. You can learn a lot from that. The other thing is this: get on a waiting list right now. You probably won't find anyone. We can't find enough people to treat. So, people are in enough pain to get some help, but call around. Someone mentioned their child is having trouble finding somebody. It may not be the first one. I mean, that happens with dentists and doctors and all kinds of people. Don't give up. You know what I mean? And ask them for a referral, because if I'm not someone's a good match for someone, I want to get them to somebody. I don't take it personal or anything like that. I want them to get some help. That's the other thing. Be social. Have good people around you, but have boundaries to keep the good stuff in and the bad stuff out, or at least limit the bad stuff that comes in, or try to train them to teach you, because nothing stresses us out like other people, right? But then also look in the mirror, because you probably stress people out too.
Stress people out.
And the nicer that we are, the kinder we are, the better we feel too. Exercise, get your sleep. keep a 80% clean diet. Those are 3 important things. And then the last thing I say, and people are going to laugh or maybe throw tomatoes, but don't worry about anything. You're always okay. And if you're not okay, you'll find someone to help you to be okay. But that worry thing gets us off our game so fast. Listen to this show. There's a bunch of this on my website. I posted and on YouTube and on your Facebook page. Go through and scroll through. Podcasts are a great resource. Okay, take good care of yourself. Put that first, because everything else is going to come off of that. Okay.
This is what I sent Caleb, my trainer, last night. I said, I need you to work me hard tomorrow to collapse. I'm in an awful period of my life. Just literally beat the hell out of me is what I said.
Rocky.
Yep. Hey, Rocky. Thank you, Dr. Martin Fletcher.
Okay. Y'all take care.
Dr. Marty at drmartinfletcher.com. Traffic right now. Madison, what do you got?
A little heavier on 127 right at 94 through the construction there. Also 94 eastbound through the construction around the Chelsea area, around M52 and Jackson Road. Looks like a little heavier on Main Street through downtown Chelsea as well. A little heavier on M52 right around Pleasant Lake Road, both directions through there. Also heavier on Michigan Avenue through downtown Saline and right around 23. A little heavier on Plymouth Road and Washtenaw right around 23. 23 looking good though. So is 96. Also a little heavier traffic on M36 between Pinckney and Hamburg. If you have a tip for us at 734-623-1029, that's the latest from the W4 Country Traffic Center.
Let's get a final check on your news. We have Claire Sigmund with that. Good morning.